is Wayne Fry. I live here in Roseville, California.
Terri Booth Fry, Wayne's wife, Roseville, California, originally from Antelope. Been in our house about a year. The last house that we lived in for a long time, I had a pool. We loved it. I wanted another one. Even though our community has a pool, I saw the backyard and said, if it fits a pool, I'll buy it. So I could envision the pool here. And just a matter of waiting for the right time and to make it happen.
Yeah, part of what we really liked talking with Century was that they had been in business for 60 years and family, just small, and done a lot of pools. And of course we got a referral, from a friend of Terry's. She was super happy, so yeah, that's kind of why we decided to go with Century.
I think that we asked friends. I'm online. I actually was referred to Century by a good friend of mine who was going through the process, and she said, I vetted everybody for you. They're the best. So we actually called Zach, and actually we're having a home show at Cal Expo, and Wayne and I had gone to see some of the other pool companies that had displays and basically tracked down Century Pools, introduced ourselves, and they had great pricing, and then we ended up setting up a time for them to come see us.
If someone, if you've never had a pool before, I think what helped a ton was that Zach, our project manager, he had software that, it helps so much to see that visually, and he can change things on there, and if you wanted a certain depth, he could do all of that. If you wanted you wanted a wall behind that, he could add that, and these changes would happen really quickly. For people that are visual, such as myself and most people, that helped a ton. If you haven't had a pool before, we did have a pool before this one. It wasn't rectangular. It was more of a free-form pool, and that was part of what Zach could do with that software. Is like, hey, here's a free-form design. Here's a rectangular design. So yeah, that helped a lot. Yeah.
But he also came out and gave us ideas of what he thought would look good. Our vision, his vision, and it's nice to kind of get input from them since they do this every day of what they think would look best in your yard. But Wayne's right, we had water feature options. They had a ton of options that we could do, and I think we just worked really closely with them, really step by step, just to design it, how we wanted it. Just something custom to us, and I just think it turned out great. We've had so many compliments. We love it.
If I remember right, the software would let you look from one of your inside windows of your house. You could look out that window and see what the pool would look like in your backyard. That was really helpful because we had a really nice window, and we wanted to know, is this going to look good in the backyard? Yeah.
We even set it right where he did that, to where coming from the front door, it was proportioned right where it needed to be, so you could see it from all the windows, and the water feature too was moved over just right, so it hit the window just perfectly. So it worked from the outside in and the inside out, so to speak.
Right.
It was really quick. I think he had said, he had given us a timeline, and I think he had called and said, hey, we can get you in. And I said, great, wow. So it was quick. They were on time. All the different crews that came in, from excavation to concrete, were professional, clean. They left everything nice. Nice crew, timely. From the beginning to end, I don't know that we had...
No, you're right, and it was a fast process. Zach got us in early. He just happened to have an opening, and they had the excavator in here, and they had the whole dug in a day, and we had lots of stuff that they had to take out beforehand, lots of rocking, that sort of thing. Very efficient and quick. So when we started looking at features that we wanted in the pool, obviously we wanted a light in the pool, right? We didn't realize they'd have this multicolor light in the pool, and it came with the base package. Yeah, we didn't think that would be a big deal, but now that the pool's in, I mean, the multicolor light is awesome. You can set it different themes. We love that feature. The other thing we wanted was like a waterfall in the pool. You know, and we had heard about sheer descent, you know, those designs, and we kind of went round and round. How many should we have? But with the pool that we have, it's only 8,000 gallons. We went with one, and as it turned out, it's beautiful. You know, we love it.
Step tiles were important. That was optional. I think we made a good decision to have step tiles for swimming, so they're identifiable, especially with the PebbleTech bottom. Automation, a big deal.
Yeah.
We literally can turn something on at our phone, on and off, lights on and off, so that's wonderful. The tile and the wall design, we ended up doing a rounded or
we put returns. The wall, instead of having just a flat wall behind the pool, you know, we wanted to go further than that and give it some more depth. So we worked with Zach on having returns created at the back, so we would have 3 separate planters in the back, and that made a huge difference. You know, rather than just having a flat wall, now it's got depth and beautiful plants in the back. Yeah, and that was another thing that he did on the software. I mean, okay, let's see what that would look like if we did that. You know?
Our pool's a custom pool. Everything is done just the way we wanted it to be. If we wanted a step longer or shorter, you know, everything was done. And if we made changes, he was right there to, you know, facilitate it and talked us through it. Every step of the way. I love having a pool. We love having it. It's I think the first thing people see when you walk out. The party's always at our house, which is great. We're brand new grandparents, so we're going to be able to have the family over here, and our son's expecting twins, so this will be a great little place for them to learn how to, you know, swim. And it's a sport pool, so that was another thing we really wanted, is a pool that we could go use the entire pool. And our vision is to just have all our friends and family over here and have the party be at our house.
If you're new to pools and you want a pool, yeah, I would speak with at least 3 different pool builders, you know, and definitely include Century. There's other ones out there, and it's good to talk to them all. I mean, because you can get ideas from everybody you talk to about how your pool is going to look like in the end anyways. Same with the landscaping. You know, we talked to 3 different landscapers, and they were all very different on what they wanted to do, but in the end, we pulled from all 3 of those quotes and did what we did here you see today.
I think that, do get bids on pools. Go with somebody. As we went with Century, we felt they were family owned. The owners were right in the trenches, you know, helping build our pool. So it was very, I didn't feel like we were a number with them. I felt like it was personal. Their attention was with us. They weren't out, you know, just giving us 5 minutes and running off. If we needed Zach, I had questions on anything, he was literally a phone call or a text away. And we had moments where through the process you have questions, or there's an unknown that needs to be answered. And so Zach was always really responsive and there just to make the pool building process easy. You know, you kind of need a little hand holding doing it, and he was always good to give us his opinion, but then ultimately let it be our decision of what we wanted. So, you know. Well,
there were some of the guys that worked on the pool, you know, Patrick, he's part of the Century family, and he did a lot of work. I mean, he was bending rebar with his knees. You know, he added extra conduit in for us so that we'd have, you know, we could get water to the other side of the yard. Right, he didn't have to do that. He did that because he knew the landscapers would need that. You know, some of the drains he repaired that stuff. Didn't need to do it, but he did.
Now, they were very thoughtful on making sure everything worked with the landscaping we had. You know, it was pretty seamless. I mean, for stress-wise, building a pool is a big deal. They really made the process simple, easy. You know, it was a good experience all the way through. I would highly recommend them to, you know, to build a friend's pool. I tell them to bring their signs and put them in our yard. I did. And they did. We had every neighbor coming by and giving us compliments of how great it looked too. So.
Well, the other added thing that we didn't even touch on was our steps out front.
Oh.
You know, even before we wanted a pool, we knew we wanted steps, and so we weren't sure. You know, like when they were going to do the pool, they told us, "Oh, you have extra concrete, right?" And we thought, I wonder if they would, you know, pull the cement truck around front and actually pour that extra cement for steps. We thought, nah, they're probably not going to do that, right? And so we mentioned it to Zach, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we do that all the time. No problem." So their concrete guy, Manuel, he went out front, set the forms up for the steps, and when the concrete truck came, they poured all this and then took it around front, and beautiful steps out front now, too, as part of the package.
We have them basically in the backyard and front yard. Century.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we would have gone with a bigger builder, I think we would have just been a number and lost in the shuffle. I think working with Century, I think from the owners to everybody involved, they were all here at our yard at one point or another. I believe everybody that's there was working in our pool. So it kind of just felt very, you know, good feeling, family owned. They care about you. They want your pool. They want you happy, and they want you in the long run to enjoy what you did. And I think if there was any issue along the way, they were right there to fix it and to help. So I don't know.
Well, one other thing with Zach, we had talked about landscaping because we had already spoke with landscapers, and he says, "Hey, I know a guy. He works with us, with Century Pools, and let me put you in touch with him." And that's ultimately who we went with, was Zach's referral.
So that was a seamless process since we worked with them. They knew each other. They worked side by side, which made everything easy for us. That's another thing. They talked to each other on timing, and they worked for this and that to where everything was done seamlessly. So I can't say enough good things. I refer him to anybody that wants to do a pool. All my friends.